Hi. Today I've decided to come live to talk about live, talk about ds260. Just sorry guys about that. Sorry guys about that. I'm just taking a few minutes to set up myself here. So guys, today I'm going to use few minutes. I'm going to use few minutes to talk about the ds260. The ds260 The ds260 is online immigrant visa and alien registration application. That is the ds260. So in the ds260, you have to be careful when you're filling it out. So guys, welcome to my channel. Those in Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria, all over the world, in the United Arab Emirates. I've found out that I have many people from the United Arab Emirates, from Ghana, from Kenya, and I appreciate you all, from Zimbabwe, Zambia, those in Africa. So I'm going to use less time to go through the ds260 and hope I will cover it. So in the ds260, there is personal, address, and phone information. That is the first page. The first page, they'll ask you your names, the languages, native languages, your sex, your current marriage status, date of birth, city of birth, state where you are where you are born, county, then region. Guys, these are all your personal information. You have to know that. If you don't know it, you will ask your parents where you are born, the county, the city, the date. Yeah, I expect you guys to be knowing this kind of information. Then it will take you to expiration date of your authorized issued document. That is the passport. They will ask you the country where you come from, the type of document you're using. That is the passport. They will ask you your nationality, of course. They will ask you the issue when it was issued and when it's gonna expire. They will go ahead. Go ahead on the first page. Ask your present address, like city, province, or state, postal code, country or region. From what date have you been living there? To what date? Then they will ask for previous addresses. This is very important. Whenever you travel to here in the United States, you will find that they will always ask you like more than 2 previous addresses. And indeed, in the ds260, they ask this question too. They ask previous address. You have to put where you have been living, especially those who came from who went abroad to work, like you went to Dubai. You can put your previous address as Dubai and you put how many years have you been there. Then the second previous address. If, for instance, you have been in Uganda and you haven't had like travel abroad, you better put 2 places, like your current and your previous address. You can just say I was in Ginger for a few months, then I'm here. You can put that. It's very important. They need to know about that. So the first page is covered, and that was personal, address, and phone information. Yeah, phone information. With the phone information, this is the last information they will ask you on your ds260, the first page. The phone information, that is primary number, secondary number, work phone number, other numbers used. Other numbers will be if you ever lived out of your country, you can put other numbers, that is Dubai number, that is another country number, Indian number, definitely. If you're still in that country, still you can put Uganda number or Kenyan number or any other number in another part of the world. That is when you're out of your country and you're living abroad, you can put your country's number. That is like your previous number. Then they will ask for email, social media. Guy, when it comes to social media and you know you haven't been good at social media, like you always post whatever about US, please don't include this. Don't include your social media. They will always check your social media. If they found out like you are a person who criticizes US, it won't be good for you. So you don't need to put your social media. I have social media handles, but I never included the one. I said none. Just always put none. Then they will ask if your mailing address is same as your present address. This is true. You just put yes. Then they will further go to the permanent address, like where are you going to be living? Permanent address. With this address is they're asking like where are you going to live in the United States? This is permanent address or name of current living address, that is United States. This is those who have connection to the United States. If you go to your host, you can use your host address. This is a tricky question. When they ask you permanent residence, they are asking for the address where you're going to live. And they will say, even they will further ask you, what's the name of the person currently living at that address? You can put your host, you can put whoever you know that is living in that address, you can put. Then, beside that, they will ask you your family information, that is your father, mother. Please, I will not go through this. I will not take a lot of time since it's early morning and I have to go to work. So, guys, they will ask you about your father's information and your mother's information. Okay. Then they will ask you like date of marriage. They will ask, this is another page, they will ask about your marriage status. Please, you have to know your marriage status. Don't mess up. It becomes tricky. These are the kind of questions they will be asking you guys at the interview. At the interview, they will ask you, this is a page which they will look at beside your permanent residence, like where you're going to be living in the US. That is a very, I'm stealing information for you guys. They will be asking about that. They'll ask you about your marriage. So you have to know when you are married and that kind of information. Then they will go ahead. They will ask you if you have any child. You go ahead to add a child and you include his date of birth, his information. Then they will ask you a tricky question. Have you previously traveled to the US? Those who have ever traveled to the US or you got deported, just say yes. If you did, if you did not do, say no. Then it's just a question. They will not ask you whatever reason got you kicked out of that country. They will not ask you. Just please include that yes or no. Like, have you ever, then they will ask you, have you ever been issued a US visa? Yeah, if you have ever been issued, please say yes. Have you ever been refused a visa to the United States or withdrawn your application for admission at the port of entry? If you have ever got a chance to get a visa and you reach the port of entry and they withdrew the visa, like they sent you back home, they deported you, just say yes. If you have ever been to that kind of situation, just say yes. It's not a crime. They will find out either. So after that, uh, uh, they take you to work experience and education and training. Guys, to my concern today, if I don't finish this ds260, guys, I will just go through it until the point of security questions. If I don't finish it, because I'm going to work and I got space. Many of you have been asking me, please uh, make for us a video about this. So I'm taking you through work, education, and training information because this is the most important. They will ask you about this. First of all, guys, let me tell you something. With the BV lottery, you have to know they will always pick questions from your ds260 because your ds260 is that document which talks about you, which is going to be there in the system that this is the kind of guy who is coming for interview. So they will be asking you about the ds260. So you have to know your questions. You have to know what you filled up in the ds260. You have to know things like about your marriage, the date of marriage, what you put, and you have to provide evidence. You have to provide evidence. You have to provide evidence. Like if you previously traveled to another country, just provide evidence and provide a police certificate of that country. Guys, this is important. If you want to pass your interview, you have to remember what you put in your ds260 and you have to provide evidence. Like this step where we are going, where they ask about work, education, and training information. They ask you primarily occupation. They will ask, are you currently having work? Guys, I believe many of us in Uganda, we don't have work. We have part-time. You just go around and get something to do. Those who are working, yeah, we know you're working and you have just put work, put your work. Yeah, those who are secretly going through DV and you don't want your employer to know, you don't want people to know, just put them, they will not contact them. But at the interview, they will ask you like, what do you do for a living? Guys, I've told you I'm stealing questions for you guys. If you are ever get selected, these are the kinds of questions they will ask you. Like, what are you doing for a living? You cannot say I'm a robber. I'm a, I'm a, you cannot say uh, okay. You cannot say something which is against the law. That's what I'm trying to mean. Like I do this, I do that. You cannot say that. So, guys, if you are a photographer, just I'm a photographer. If I'm there was kind of disturbance here with the network. But so what I mean, if they ask you what you're doing, guys, be specific. Don't meander around like you don't know what you're doing. Just say, I'm doing this. If you work in a salon, just tell them they call them Baba. If you just find a word for your work, if you're a bricklayer, just I'm a bricklayer. Yeah. Don't shy away from your work. because they need to see that this person is a responsible person. He has something he's doing. Like you're not just hanging around in your country. So what will you do in the US? You will just start committing crimes. They need to see that. They will ask you, and this is something. You cannot employ someone who hasn't been working at all. Like you cannot give chance to someone who has been robbing people. Yeah. Today I'm going through these questions. If I get chance, I'll go through the security questions because I'm yet to reach the security questions. The security questions are very important too. Now with work, I've told you guys, they'll ask you, are you currently employed? You can say I'm not employed. I have my business. I'm self-employed. I'm working in a family business. Like I'm a baker. I'm working in a bakery, or I'm working as a driver. I drive my mom to work, and I drive uh, like family business. I drive eggs. I drive harvester. I drive things like I drive crops. So guys, just uh, you have to be specific with what you're doing. If you are in the army, please just say I'm in the army, and you have to get that release form. If you're in police, say you are in police and you have to get that release form. If you don't have those release form, it's no good. Just have a release form, like it's a kind of a recommendation for you. They will always give you, if you go to the police and you tell them to give you a release form, they will always give it to you. But beside that, don't resign from your work. Don't quit your job until you have the visa in your hand. Don't quit your job. It's it's advice. It's an advice from the USA government that you shouldn't quit your job. You shouldn't quit your work. You shouldn't sell any property. So guys, when it comes to education, this is tricky, and this is what determines you. This is where they determine if you are eligible to, if you qualify for this kind of process with education and work experience. So with education, they start with work. Yeah, with education, they will ask you, no, especially, yeah, they started with work. So with work, they will ask whether you are previously employed, like after your primary occupation, they will ask you, are you previously employed? Then you start listing a few of jobs you have ever done. Like if you have ever been a cleaner, if you have ever been a security guard in the United Arab Emirates, and be there to provide evidence. Like if you were there, you have to have a experience letter from your company. If it doesn't matter, but you try to provide evidence. You can provide a picture like you are at work. Pictures are so much evidence that you have ever been something. You can, then they will ask, so they will ask you whether you are previously employed. They will ask for the name of your employer, address, city, state, post address, country, telephone number. They will further go and ask about the supervisors. Who are your supervisors? You give their names. Who are you, so when were you employed? Like from what date to what date? These are the kinds of questions they will ask at the interview. So you traveled to United Arab Emirates? How long were you there? What were you doing? Okay, these are the questions they will ask. Then they will ask, does this job require at least 2 years of experience? Guys, this is how you qualify to get a visa, diversity visa. If this job requires 2 years of experience, it will be very, very important. This is how you qualify. Beside the education part, this part of work is so important. Like you can, when you list your previous years, find find a qualifying job which you have ever done. Like if you have been into something, even anything which requires training of 2 years, like police, like army, like anything, name it. You can look around. If you have ever done it, if you are to lie, please lie with evidence, just in order to qualify yourself. Then they will ask you about the education. This is the most important part of education. I believe many of you are gonna qualify through your education, just the way I did, just the way many of my friends did. Work experience is always a few of the guys, but with education, many of us have ever attended high school in Nigeria, high school in Ghana, high school in Kenya, high school, wherever you have attended your high school. Please, guys, put this. So they will ask you, have you attended any education institute or institution? So you'll put yes. If you're even if you're still at the university, guys, put yes, and you have to include that you're at the university. Yeah, somebody asked me that, or if you're at the university, just put yeah, you're still at the university and you're studying. I have a friend, Enoka, the one I interviewed last time, was still at the university. He just graduated recently. He had a virtual graduation, and we had to congratulate him. Guys, put you at the university, then they will ask highest level of education. If you're still at the university, okay, you'll find a way to include it, like your highest level of education is a university, but you're still undergoing that course. Then you name your previous education levels, like you went to A level, high school, or college. So those who went for O level and A level, this is a tricky question I've been receiving from you guys. Like, what if I did not go for A level? I know there is a lot of questions about this, but guys, let me be clear to you guys. Those who went for O level, you are okay. If you went for O level is an equivalent to high school. High school, that is O level in Uganda. Other guys, I don't know what your O level is, but there is that ordinary level. When you come from primary level, when you're done with your primaries, you will go to ordinary level. That is in Uganda. That is the level of education I know. For Kenyans, you can relate, guys. O level, it's a pass, guys. It's a pass. They say, do marks matter? Like your performance uh, in the your performance, like O level certificate, like your performance, English, economics, those kind of stuff, history. Uh, I'm forgetting, what did I study for O level? I'm even forgetting. It's long time. It's 10 years plus. So I think it doesn't matter. If you have that certificate, you can, guys, you can, that is a testimony. They ask for a certificate, they don't ask for performance. So guys, don't ask me about performance. If you failed, like you failed in English, not a crime. If you failed in math, you got a F, but you passed other subjects, it's okay. If I'm an employee and we are at the interview and you're like, I did not pass this kind of subject, it's okay, I give you a job. It's okay. They just ask for a certificate. But yeah, it's good. It's good to have performed well, and congratulations for those who performed well. Yeah, it's good. And you can use that as a point Like wherever you go, I'm good. I'm good. I perform well in whatever I do. Yeah, performance matters too because it presents how much clever or brighter or attentive you are. Yeah, it matters a certain extent, but if you have that certificate of O level, you qualify. That is a high school equivalent. And when you're naming this, when you're indicating like O level, put high school. If you're indicating A level, that is higher education, indicate high school diploma. High school diploma. Guys, I have to be clear with this information when I'm giving it to you. High school diploma is an indication for A level. Guys, I know you guys are missing out in that point of high school and high school diploma. You are confusing the two. And don't ask me, don't debate with me. This kind of information, I've ever done research and I know, don't come to me confusing me and telling me this and that. That is it. Take it from me. I've ever done it. I've ever been there 2 times. I've ever been there. I've made a lot of research. I've spent a lot of data on this kind of information. So they will ask you about that, and you qualify by education or you qualify by work. Work has to have 2 years of training, and you have to have the certificates to show. Even with the education, you have to have the certificates to show. If you have ever attended any other kind of course, you can indicate it under the institutions, and you can indicate also the degrees you have, the masters you have. But guys, don't go around, I have a master, I have this. They don't need to hear that. That is being proud for nothing. Me, I never had a degree, so I don't care. Whoever's degrees, guys, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can satisfy your degree. It will help you in the US when you're getting work or you want to get a certain profession, like you want to go for doctor, you want to do something here. You can utilize your degrees and certificates, but you can satisfy them. It's important to satisfy when you're coming here. Satisfy them is important. Even you can satisfy your O level, your A level is important. But at the embassy, you can present any certificate without satisfying them at the embassy because those are originals. Yeah, if you have something which is not original, like you have went to NASA and got your papers, guys, I appreciate you, and this is the time to tell you that you're gonna be disqualified. And I'm sorry about that. Don't go to NASA. Don't go. The worst thing you could ever do is to lie to yourself. I've seen this at the embassy. Lying to yourself is the worst thing you could ever do to yourself. You lie to yourself like you're gonna pass interview. Guys, I've come at the end of the video, and my next video will be talking about security questions, that the questions which are asked beside your information, those questions which are in there will be security background. These questions need time. That's why I will do a separate video for them. They need time. Guys, they need time. But hope I've covered most of the information you guys need. I try to be clear with my English and clear with my explanations. Guys, I have an audience from different kinds of, from different parts of the world. That's why I try to use my English my little English. I know I'm improving each and every day here. We learn different words, different accents. We meet different people. We even have to learn English from us. Can you imagine? We Ugandans, we Africans, we at least we come from a background where we learn English from the time we come out of our mother's, uh, I would say, stomach. Or, yeah, from the time you are born, you start learning a little bit of English. So America will be easy for you. So guys, in few words, I will go through the different steps I've taken you through. That is personal, address, and phone information. Those are very, 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 they are needed. Family information, that is information about your mother, father. Then they will go ahead to ask you information about your status, your marriage status. You include your wife. Then they will ask if you have kids. You include your kids. They will ask basic information about marriage, like, are you married? Who is the person you're married to? Has your spouse ever traveled to US? Just indicate the right answers. She ever, like, are you traveling with her? You see, on this question, guys, be careful. If no, if you're not traveling with your spouse or you're not traveling with your kid, this is the place where you will say, I'm not traveling with them. And if you put you're not traveling with them, you have to know that at the interview, they don't need to see them. You will just present their information. If you say you're traveling with them, you have to present them at the interview. If you mess up and you feel like you want to to change any answer in here, like you feel it will lead you to being denied a visa, guys, you can still request for your ds260 to be reviewed from the KCC. KCC, KCC, this is the consulate, this is the one you will be communicating to. That is KCC. Yeah, for more information, you can go to my comments. You can comment down, I can provide any more information. But right away, I'm telling you guys, if you mess up in your DS260, please communicate with KCC. You write, you make a request, like I'm requesting to review my what? My DS260. Yeah, they will send it back to you. They will send a link back to you, and you will be able to access it. Otherwise, you will never access your DS260 until you're at the interview. If you messed up and you want access to your DS260, you always have to write to the KCC. Then the KCC will reply you. You always have to give it a period of 1 week or a period of few days. If they are so fast, if they don't have a backlog, it will be so fast. It will be unbelievable. Like you will send it now, they will reply in the evening. That is when they are not busy, when they don't have a backlog. But nowadays they have backlog. So guys, I've come at the end of my video, but you have to know one thing. When you're done with the DS260, they will always email you a paper, like a copy, giving you at the end, there will be a copy, and that copy, always keep it. They will email it to you when you're done with your DS260 and you submit it. When you submit it, they will send you a copy. They will send you a PDF. Always print it out and keep it. You will always have to travel with it and add it onto your DS260. This was my DS260. I presented it to the embassy, and I personally took copies. I took like 4 more copies from this because I needed it. So guys, it's very important to take copies and to keep this information, because this is the information which will help you, which will be asked at the interview, and try to go through it. Try to go through it. If you don't know English, if if somebody helped you to prepare this, still they might ask you, did anyone help you to prepare this? Guys, if you know that you can prepare it for yourself, but you got some help, just say you prepared it by yourself. I always seek help. I could ask somebody, but just indicate that you prepared it for by yourself. And at the end of this, you have to do separate ds260s for your wife, your kids, and you have to print it out too, and you combine it with this. That is needed at the embassy. They will always ask for it. After submitting this, you will get a notice that will show you like you have finished submitting your ds260, but under they will indicate add other ds260 or add beneficiaries, add your they will give you an indication. You have to be careful with that. Many of us have ever done a mistake where we forget those ds260, but when we reach at the embassy, they demanded us for them. They demanded us to go back and fill them up. Can you imagine taking more time on the day of interview to fill up this kind of information again for 2 people, for 3 people? It will take money, and it take hours, and it will take panic. Guys, I don't want you to be in that kind of situation. It is panic, like you'll be like, oh my God, I can't get visa until I finish. I fill up this for my son, I fill up this for my other kid, I fill up kids for my wife. So it's very important. Okay, guys, I've come at the end of my video, and the next video will be about security questions they will be asking, because they are tricky, guys. It needs a though, let me try going through them. Have you ever served in the military? Okay, that is the first question they will be asking. So guys, see you later. Talk to you later. Thank you for being here. Please share this video with anyone you think it will be useful for them. And thank you so much. I love you guys. Bye bye.